a couple things we want to go over before we start is, again, please sign in if you have not done so. Lisa will put the sign in the chat for us. And then, but again, if you don't sign in today, it's okay. Again, we take attendance, and we get the attendance from the Google Meet. So again, Cindy, thank you so much for joining us. And when you are ready, you can go ahead.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you very much, Stephanie and Lisa, for having me again today. Excuse me. I have a few things that I want to go over, but I kind of want to ask the question of, did anybody go into Destiny Discover and play with it over the last month since we looked at it last month? Okay. And I did go over how to go into the access levels and update the access levels so that your patrons, when they log in, they automatically go into Destiny Discover. So let me go ahead and share my screen and I'll go over that again.
I did change that setting for some schools, so I know that they listened because they asked me if they could get that as the default.
Okay. And your librarians, I'm sorry, but do your librarians have the access to update their permissions in the access levels?
No.
Okay. All right. So thank you about that. Okay. All right. So let me go into Destiny Discover. So a couple things in Destiny Discover that I kind of wanted to go over today. There was I did cover a lot of the back end stuff of updating Destiny, making sure that the screen is the way you want it. And you can see mine's a little bit different this week. And making sure that all the settings are correct. Now, one of the things I wanted to kind of focus on is this little section right here, the learning resources. These are resources that are either from OneSearch databases that are free for the district. So you can go out there and look for those databases and add them in Destiny back office, and they'll display in Destiny Discover as long as you add them correctly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to back office. Okay, so now I'm in my back office. I'm going to go into my catalog tab, and then I'm going to go down to the bottom on the left and click on search setup. Okay, then I want to click on enriched content standard, or I'm sorry, searches. And then in here, you can see I have my OneSearch database information. Okay, so if I click on edit, edit gives me all the databases that are available in Destiny. Okay, one of the things you have to remember about databases is some of them are free, but some of them are paid for services. Okay, if I edit my databases, that means I already have some in my database, so, and they are out there. So if I go in and edit them, I can look at them and change things around if I need to, or remove them if I don't. Like Wikipedia is not my favorite thing to go in and search, especially for students. I wouldn't want them to see it, so I could remove it if I wanted to. So let me go back and look at free databases real quick, because I want to add, oops, hold on, let me double check something. Add databases. Free databases, there they are. So these are all free databases. You don't have to set up a username and password. Like some of these, if you go in to add them, you have to put a username and password. And in some cases, you have to put a URL in there. And you can get those from that vendor. Okay, so let me cancel this. Let me go into the free databases. They are right here. Okay, so you can see there's a few things that I need to set up in order for it to display in Destiny. Okay, so, and one of those things is to display in Destiny Discover under my Learning Resources section. So you have to remember to select that piece in order for it to show up. Okay, let's see, which one would I want? Let's go with Awesome Library. So let's select that one. I want it in Destiny and I want it in Destiny Discover. This last column is for your guest users. So if you want your guest users that are not logging into Destiny to have access to that database, you can give it to them if you want to. It's up to you. Let's see, what other ones can I get? What's a good one? National Geographic for Kids. How about that one?
We had a quick question. It said when she clicks the admin and back office, she's being looped back to her splash page. Did she miss a click?
Oh, to get to the screen?
Yeah,
Yes,
I believe so.
I'm being looped back and I can't get to where you are.
Okay, so when you went to your home page, did you go from Destiny Discover?
Yes, I was in Destiny Discover. I went to admin. I thought I was doing it like, and then I mean more, and then I clicked back office.
Right, and that's exactly what you should be. It shouldn't log
And
you
when I
out. Did
clicked
it
back
log you out?
office, it puts me right back on my splash page.
I'd have to look at her access level. So Stephanie, can you send me her information so I can look that up later?
This is what we consider our splash page, Cindy. So she's
Oh, this is our
standing
home
right
page.
here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Thank
apologize.
you.
Okay, so what I want you to do from this page, from your home page, go into catalog.
Okay.
Okay, and then down on the bottom left, search setup.
Search setup. That's what I missed. Okay.
Okay, and then it brings up this screen. You select
Yes.
the second tab, and that's where you can get to OneSearch databases.
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad you asked. Thank you. Let me make this a little bigger. Okay, so I'm going to add a database again and go into my free databases. And again, you got to pay attention to what's on the top of the screen. I want it to be in Destiny Discover. I don't want to select all of these because some of them I really don't want my students to have access to. Okay, so let's select a couple of these. Graphic, why not? I thought there was a Florida one here. I guess not. Oh, I know what I was going to do with Florida. That's something different. How about National Geographic for Kids? Okay. So I've selected everything I wanted for these free websites. And you can come in here and edit these as much as you want to. If you find something else that's included in here, you can add that later. Okay. So I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to close out of this screen. Okay, so now I'm back to my Destiny back office, right? So if I go to library search on the left and I click on my power search, a lot of people don't realize that you can go under power search and you can go down to the bottom and see the current resources that are currently available for your site that you've currently set up. Sometimes it looks like this, where it doesn't show it. And if you click that box, it actually updates it and shows you what you have access to. Okay, so I have my free catalogs here. So let's go out in Destiny Discover and see if we have, I shouldn't say catalogs, I should say databases. So let's go back out to Destiny Discover. And let's see if it updated. Yep. Well, Wikipedia is still there. I didn't take that out. So that's how you can update those. Now, if there's a link that you guys want to add here, a website that you want to add so it shows up in your learning resource, there's a way to do that as well. So one of the links that I saw on one of your homepage was this Florida Electronic Library. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can add that in my database. Whoops. All right, so I'm going to go into more, and I'm going to go into admin. Okay, and then I'm going to go under display options. I'm going to select featured content. Okay, so that shows me my screens and my ribbons. So I can move these ribbons around if I want to. And I can edit these links in the top. I could edit this and add my school name if I wanted to, put in some news up there. But for this purpose, I'm going to go ahead and add a learning resource. Okay, so I'm going to edit this page, and you can see I already have one in there. So I'm going to go ahead and add a link. Is everybody still with me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Click on add a link, and it asks you to give it a name, Florida Electronic Department, I'm sorry, Library. And then I can just paste my link in there, right? And now I can put a description if I want to. I don't have to, okay? And then for your icon, you simply click on the icon itself, and you can go out and get a picture. So what I did with the picture that I showed you before is I right-clicked on it and saved it as a download on my own computer. So I can go out and choose a file and then find the download that I just downloaded and add the picture. Now you can see in this box here is what's actually going to display in Destiny Discover. You can see it's way too big. So if you can manage it down here, or you can just click on it and manage it here. It'll let you do it with your mouse as well. Okay, so I'm going to accept that. Okay, so you can see it's in there. And if I save it, it should add it to my links. Okay, I can also hide that if I don't want my students to see it, or it's no longer available, or actually if it's no longer available, I could delete it. But if it's something that I don't want my staff to see yet, I can hide it until I'm ready for them to see it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to click on done here, and I'm going to go back to Destiny Discover. It's not there yet. So let's go back out to back office and come back in, and let's see if it shows up then. There it is. So if you have specific websites or pages that you want your students to access or have access to, you can add them here. Okay. Has anybody looked at any of the collections that are in Destiny Discover?
Yes, I like the ones for Dot Day and some other things. They're good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to go, thank you very much for that. I'm going to go into collections real quick and show you a little bit about collections. Everybody can come in here and create a collection, right? There's plenty of public ones. Now, when it says public, public means all over the world. Anybody can post it publicly, and it's available for them. There is a person, and I don't know if you guys know this name or not. Shannon Miller is a librarian out west someplace, and she does a lot of collections in Destiny, and she shares them with everybody. So let's search by her name. Okay, so here's all of Shannon's collections. So there's a lot of them, and they're all very, very good. Okay, so if you find a collection out here, you can copy it, right? You can copy it. Let's go back to collections real quick. I'm sorry. I'll do that search one more time. Okay, is everybody still with me? Okay. All right, so there's the collection. And here on this main page here, you can copy it. So if you click on these three dots, you can copy it into a private collection for your own site. And then edit it to be what you want it to be. Okay, if you click on this icon, it'll give you a link to that database, and you can send it to yourself. Any questions about finding collections? Public collections. Okay, so I'm going to go back to collections, and I'm going to show you how to create a new one. Okay, so of course I can edit these, but I don't want to edit these. I want to create a new one. So you go into private, and it says here, it tells you can create a collections. Okay, you can give it a name. Let's give it Aid Abe Lincoln. Let's say if a history teacher comes in and says your students are doing a research on Abe Lincoln and you want to create a collection so that they have resources to go to do their studies. Okay. You can give it a description. And even give it the teacher's name if you wanted to. It's totally up to you. Okay. You go into grades and subjects. So you can go into select the grades that you want this to show up for. No, not fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. How about that? Let's see. English, social studies. Okay. You can also go into image and color and you can change that. I know there's a way of going in and changing the image, but I haven't done that in a while. But you can change the color based on what you want so that it displays however you want it to display. Okay. And then simply hit create collection and it creates a private collection under your name. Okay. If I want to edit it, I can go in and here and edit it. I can copy it. I can delete it. Here I can share it with other resources. Email address in here and I can send it to them. Okay. I can go into my catalog now and search my catalog and add items to this collection. So let's go back to Destiny Discover. Oops, sorry. And honestly, I don't remember if there's any books in here for Abe Lincoln, but we're going to look. I guess not. Let's do. There we go. I know it's not Abe Lincoln, but I'm going to go ahead and add it to my collection. So you see these three dots here? I can view the title, I can add to my favorites, or I can add it to a collection. If I click on add to a collection, I can select the collection. If I have several, I can select the one I want it to add to. Okay. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so let's go back into my collections. Let's see if it's there. So I don't know if it added. No, I did add it. Huh. A couple times, didn't I? So I can delete the ones that I didn't want, since I have so many of them. So it's just this little eclipse here. Delete. So now I only have one. So in collections, you can add more titles here. You can add websites. You can add, you can create a PDF of it and send it out to your students or your staff, your teachers, so that they can look at it. It really is very beneficial for your students. I'm sorry, for your staff members in your classes to be able to come in and create these. And your teachers can actually identify the things that they want in these collections. So you can create them based on their specific needs.
Cindy, can students create these collections? It might be an interesting way for students to collect their research in one place and also show their learning.
Yes, as long as you give them access. So let's go back into admin. So I'm going to click on more and go into admin on the Destiny Discover side, right? That's a great question. So thank you. I'm going to go into my collections policies. Okay. So these are all assigned on your access levels. So when you look at your access level up at the top, there's a link that says something about roles. And that's what this is for. It identifies what they can do in collections. Okay. So you have administrator, which is a typical library administrator that comes in here. So these items are not, it's not surprising. Make sure you read the top line here. Okay. So a administrator can create private collections, can make collections visible to the site, the district, and publicly, and can view the collections created by public and district, doesn't matter, but under district sites, you can select what you want them to view. So they cannot view other sites' collection, show all district collections, or show only academics collections. And the reason it says academics for me is because I'm in an academic school. So it's the site type. So if I'm under elementary schools, it'll give me everything under elementary. Okay. And then, of course, your feature collections. Those are paid for services. A lot of districts don't purchase any of those. So having that unchecked or checked is not going to make that much of a difference. But for your students, I do suggest that you do have that unchecked. So down at the bottom is your student. And I don't know why they don't keep this bar visible when you scroll down to the bottom. It sure would make everything easier, but they don't. So I'm going to go down to the bottom. My students can have access to private collections, meaning their own private collection. My students can have access to school collections if you want them to have that, district collections, or public collections. So it's not unusual to go into a site and see that all of these are unchecked. So typically, most libraries only want them to see the collections that are available at their site. So that's what they'll usually select. Okay. And then under show all district collections, they really don't need to see the high school stuff. So I would limit it to their site type. Okay. Is everybody with me still? Okay. So I'm going to save that. And it's updated. So my students, yes, they can log in and they can create their own collection based on their studies. All right. One more thing I want to show you about collections. I'm going to close this screen because it's a separate one from Destiny Discover. And one of the things that you can do is create a collection from a resource list. So I created a resource list in the back office a while ago so that I could update collections. Oops, sorry, yes, I did mean to go there. So under private collections, I can go create a collection. I can give it a title. Let me go under my, let's look at Abe Lincoln. Let's edit that. Oh my gosh, where do I do that? I apologize. I don't know where I'm at. There is a way to import a resource list from Destiny Classic or Destiny Back Office. I'm sorry. Let's see. There's different ways of sorting through based on title and material. Oh, that's what I forgot to tell you. Okay, while I try to figure out how to import a resource list because it's totally gone out of my head. So I apologize for that. So when you do create a resource list, a collection, at the bottom of this page is where you can make it public or private. So you have it still in your private. If I want to allow my schools to see it, I can select that so everybody can see it. And I can select my district as well. Okay. So typically what I tell my customers is if you're creating a collection in Destiny Discover, make it a private one until you know for sure that you have everything in there that you want in there. And then make it available for your school. Okay. So if you save that collection, it's now going to be available for my schools, my students, my staff, everybody at my school. Okay. Any questions about collections?
Collections is great. I know that the district has, we've made collections for you on the school side for everybody. But they're great for the students. We are sort of almost out of time, so we want to wrap up. But does anybody have any questions about Destiny Discover so far from last time and this time? While we have Cindy here.
And just so you know, I will send you the instructions on importing from a resource list out of Destiny Back
That'd be
Office.
great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
That's perfect. And I'll send that out with the recording.
Okay, thank you.
Pebble Go is a different database and a different program. We'll get that code out to you, Caitlin. That's not, it's linked, but it's two separate things. Any other questions about Destiny Discover? Okay, again, Lisa, I don't know if they still have time.
They do. They have till December 16th to declare their intent to apply for Florida Power Library. You must have completed 3 full years in your media center. I really, really, really encourage you to apply. I will help you every step of the way with the process. I am not the person who grades your portfolio, so of course, I can give you all kinds of help. So if you're interested, get me that survey, the initial application submission before the 16th. I will sign it and send it back to you so you can upload that with your teaching certificate.
All right, again, please join us and join Emma. A lot of things flow in and out of Emma. There's different parties, different meetings, different things. So please, if you've not done so, please join us. Again, tag us in everything that you're doing. We'd love to see it. People look at it. Upper leadership looks at it. And if you need points, don't forget you can go ahead and register for Topical Tuesday and e-learning. And then also there'll be a follow-up cumulative homework assignment that will make sure that you get all the points that you need. Okay, so we have winter break coming up, but then January 10th will be our final part 3 with Cindy of Destiny Discover. Between then, if you try anything or you want something discussed further, email me and I will let Cindy know. And don't forget that you can always rewatch these parts to go over anything that maybe was not clear the first time around. So
one last
sorry.
One last thing before we go. Please tune into the board meeting tomorrow evening, the earlier part. We will be honoring Caroline Epstein for her Florida Power Library Award. So you get to see one of your own being honored in front of the board.
We will stay on for any other little questions, but everybody have a great afternoon and we will see you on January 10th for our next one.